instance variable, we talked about the CRC card, that has a responsibility and collaborators. The responsibility is for what is this class supposed to do, and the collaborator is what other classes do I need to be able to accomplish this task. Then we're going to be talking about UML diagram. So this is postponed for next Friday. So we're going to be doing a UML. Remember, up to this point, your classes, you're not thinking about any inheritance or anything other than that. So your classes is going to have basic data type. So by this point, when you're doing your UML, you do not have object inside other object. You do not have any inheritance. So UML is going to define your inheritance. UML is going to define your aggregation. So that's what's going to happen in UML. You should not have it before that. So your classes is going to have basic data type. So that's where you're going to be using these lines to create it. Remember, we're going to start with dependency and then we move on to inheritance and aggregation to be sure we have those things. And when we have aggregation, which has a relationship, and we have inheritance, which is a relationship that we're going to define it in our UML. So you can use the IO draw IO, or you can use Visio to do this. So when we're defining our tasks that we have, our task is basically our methods. So we have a task at the price of an item. So the method is at item. Then the question is, what data do we need for this? I'm going from the top down. So if I define my task, remember the tasks are the responsibilities that we are doing. Then the question is, what data do I need? This is the way I am coming down to, my data. So first one was I had my nouns, I had my data, I built my classes. The second one is I'm working with my task. I am creating my method, and from my method, I'm going to get my data. So this is backward. So we're doing it this way. So for this one, what do we need? What data do we need? So these data are my instance variables. What else? So this is what we're going to be creating through the Dry or Visio or any other format. You put the name of your class, and then you put your data over here, and you put your methods over here. So the methods in this case are your tasks. In the first one, the methods were your verbs. So, and the first bottom up, your nouns, related nouns are going to go here next to each other, and then verbs going to go here as a method. In top down, we're going to define our task first, and then we're going to get to our data. So when you're done with your bottom up and when you're done with your top down, you would have two lists of classes. If your two lists are exactly the same, that means you're doing one of them wrong. Most of the time, you're doing the bottom up wrong. Remember, bottom up, that means all the nouns in your document has to be listed. You're building up your classes based on the nouns that you have in your requirement document. So if I go to your requirement document and I found the nouns that are not in the list, or I found the nouns that's in the list and it's not in your requirement document, you're not going to get points for that one. So all the nouns has to come from your requirement document. That's the bottom up. Then you put the ones that are close to each other into a list, and then you come up with a name that's going to be defining what the list is about. So I'm going to come up with I'm going to come up with my nouns over here. I'm going to put the nouns over here. Then I'm going to come up with a name that's going to describe these nouns. And then I'm going to put my verbs over here. That's bottom up. The top down, I'm going to create a form. I'm going to go top down. I'm going to find the task that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to create methods based on those tasks. I'm going to come up with my data. So it's going to be going the other way around.